Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Studio 78 podcast. I am your host, Nache from NacheSnow.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Lakaye and Nache again today. Welcome, Lakaye.
Hello, Nache. I am Lakaye Mbah from LakayeMbah.com.
Fancy, fancy.
Right.
Know that we are going to have links to all the things that we mentioned today in the show notes. So if you go over to NacheSnow.com/136, you will find all the things. So don't even worry about writing it down. I've got you. We've got you. And so, what are we going to be talking about today? Lakaye and I are going through our top 5 productivity apps. These are things that we can't live without, right, Lakaye? Like, these are things for you that what?
They're essential to running my business. I literally go to these apps or applications or websites every single day.
Yeah, and some of these are free and some are paid. And of course, if we're paying for anything, what does that mean? That means
It must be good.
it must be good. We value them. And remember, if you're paying for something, it's always worth the investment if it's helping you to be more productive. It should just motivate you to make that money in order to cover the cost for whatever you're paying for. Just make sure that whatever you're paying for is somehow incorporated into your pricing so it doesn't even matter. So we'll start with you, Lakaye. What is first on your list?
Well, I'll start with the ones that used to be free that I ended up upgrading to. So the first one I'll talk about is Calendly. So I use Calendly in my photography business to schedule just about every meeting that I have. With the free version, you can only have one type of event. So I used to use it if people wanted to book a shoot, you can go in and they could select their time. The best thing about it, though, the reason why I got it to start with is so that you don't have to do that back and forth with your emails and text messages. What time are you free? How about Tuesday? Well, Tuesday I'm out of town, blah, 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 blah. Calendly helps you skip all of that back and forth, and your client can just go and choose a time that works for them. The paid version, you can have unlimited scheduling types. So I have a calendar that's just for consultations. I have a calendar for showing product reviews. I don't use it so much for scheduling my shoots. I have another um, program that I use for that. But I love Calendly. I would never run my business without it. You use it too, though, don't you?
Yeah, and what I'll say about, I should have started with this and I apologize. I know those who have been listening for a while kind of already know this, but just in case we have some new guests, know that Lakaye and I are coming at this from 2 different places. So Lakaye has her own business and it is her full-time thing. I work a 9 to 5 and I do my side hustle on nights and weekends. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood like the need for productivity is there in both
Mm-hmm.
scenarios. However, we are coming at it also from just 2 different vantage points, I guess. And Lakaye is an amazing photographer.
Thank
And
you.
and I have a podcast and sell products. So there's a difference there too. So you'll see that sometimes we'll use the same, of course, type of software, but we're using it for 2 different types of businesses. It doesn't matter really if it's different types of businesses, but I at least wanted you guys to have that frame of reference as we talk about our favorite apps. So yes, I use Calendly too, primarily for booking my podcast guests. So I still use the free version because it's perfect because 9 times out of 10, I'm using it for the podcast guests. Every once in a while, if I need it for like, and I haven't done consulting in a while, but I have used it for consulting. Or if I just want to schedule just like a brief meeting with someone, I can send them the same podcast link that I set up. It really doesn't matter. So for me, the free version works for what I'm doing right now, but it's just so seamless because I can easily hook it into my Google Calendar. It already knows when I'm busy, and then it allows me to customize that even further. So I just love it. And then it'll allow you to even display times if you want in the email so people can quickly pick a time. It has all these little hidden functions that I probably don't even take advantage of, but they're there just in case I need them. But yes, I am a huge, huge Calendly fan too.
Okay. What's your first pick for your productivity?
My first pick is going to be CoSchedule, which I love. And I think I may have an affiliate link for this one. If I do, if you go to nachesnow.com/coschedule, it'll take you to CoSchedule. It may or may not be an affiliate link, but I'll make sure I set it up. So regardless, it'll take you to CoSchedule. But basically, CoSchedule is an app to help you manage your social media. And so a lot of people I know, because of my recommendation, have gone to CoSchedule because it's so easy. Like basically, even when I'm doing a podcast, it integrates into, I use WordPress for the nachesnow.com, but it integrates right into the blog post. So after I've finished doing my article write up and adding my images, there's another block that says CoSchedule, and I can easily schedule my Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook posts. And I can, not only after I schedule it, I can tell it to re-queue it, which means it knows to send it out again and again and again based on an algorithm with all my other content.
I was smiling because you probably told me to sign up for CoSchedule 100 times and I haven't done it yet. And every time we talk about it, I'm like, man, I could really use something like that.
Because here's the thing,
So,
it's like we can't be in all the places, right? So for
right.
me, the magic of CoSchedule, it does hook into Instagram now, but for me, Instagram, I don't mind posting on the fly. But for, in particular, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, I'm not on those places. But once I queue up the content, it'll continue to post as if I'm active. So people think I'm like active on all three of those. And I'm not. I just have it queued up to always send out content on specific days.
So here's my question about CoSchedule because that sounds pretty darn amazing. Is that the free version that does all of that stuff, or is that a paid version?
It's a paid version.
Mm, okay.
So I pay a couple hundred a year. And know that you guys want, but you just make it back. Just put it in the cost. But the thing about it is it's worth it to me because my time is money.
Hmm.
And whenever I pay for stuff, if I already know that I love it, I will just pay for it a year in advance. So I only have to worry about it every year
And that's
versus
so smart
monthly.
because you save so much money if you budget it ahead of time and you do all of your
Hmm.
bills. Now, I didn't do this yet, but I will next year. I'm going to budget ahead of time and pay everything off for the year. You save hundreds of dollars by doing things like that.
You do. Like even this is not a tool or app, but for example, I just had to renew the hosting and the domain name for nachesnow.com. I just went ahead and paid for 36 months for nachesnow.com. I
It
mean,
seems like a
it's
lot of
like it's
commitment, but your name is going to be Nache Snow. So,
right. It's like that's not going anywhere, regardless of what happens and what I do. If I'm doing a podcast or not, I'm gonna want that. And so it is expensive going in, but when you calculate it, you know what you're paying yearly. Every year I know, okay, these are the four things that I pay for on an annual basis. And I already know how much money I need to make that year just to cover that cost. And then
mm,
everything else is cake.
I like cake.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you got to try to make the money, but yeah.
Right.
So, that's the tricky part, the marketing
That's the matter right there.
asterisks.
But
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say though, the apps that I'm mentioning, I wouldn't be able to run my business without it. So it works hand in hand.
So yeah, so that's my first one is co-schedule because I know it's important to have a presence on social media. I want to see I want to seem as if I'm active all the time and I want to continue driving traffic to my site. So to me, it's worth it. It also gives me information on how many clicks that I'm getting, so I know I'm getting the bang for my buck. So yeah, and there's so many things that I still need to probably set up and use in CoSchedule, but even just using the bare bone basics of it, to me, is worth the investment.
Wonderful. I'm gonna do it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it in the next 48 hours.
Hmm. So what's your second?
Okay. So my second one, if you're a graphic designer, it's slightly controversial.
Mm,
So I use Canva. I have a
mm.
degree in design and I don't care because Canva saves me so much time because the things look good. It's already set up so I can have the perfect sizing for all the social media or posters or whatever. I use it for quick things that I have to turn around quickly to get online. I use Canva all the time and I'm proud of it. There's so many. If you're not a graphic designer, you don't understand what the controversy is. Some people are very upset because there are very expensive programs that we're forced to buy and learn and go to school for, and they're not easy to use. So designers feel like I went to school for this, somebody should pay me lots and lots of money, and they should. But I like Canva and I tell everybody about it. I tell my clients about it all the time because I take these pictures for their social media feeds and then they put them with these horrible graphics. Like, just go to Canva, slide your pretty picture in, don't change anything but the words, and let it do its thing. And then it 9 times out of 10 it comes out well.
Mm. I mean, of course, I mean, we went to UB together, but I come from a design background too. I used to use sometimes Canva for like little quick stuff, but now I don't anymore. But it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm a purist and I only use Adobe. Now I actually just, there's another app that I pay for to get all my templates from. And so anything else, I just prefer to create myself in Adobe Photoshop. But I do see the utility in Canva because it has like a lot of good templates that are so easy to use. And even if you have a design background, some with running a business or being a career woman and running a business on the side, no one has time
Mm-mm.
necessarily to be coming up with things from scratch. So sometimes when you can have those templates to reference, they're really good. Now, these two weren't on my list, but since you mentioned Canva, I'll just mention them just so
Oh,
people
that's
have
that's what we're
them.
doing here. We're just gonna add to our list.
But these aren't productivity, but it kind of goes with your Canva.
All right, I'll allow it.
One is the Adobe Suite, which I pay for because that's how I create most of my products, right?
Yeah.
Is
Hmm.
Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. And you reference that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So
Actually, I
my
didn't say the
preference is
name
Adobe.
because I feel like Adobe gets all the money anyway, so I didn't want to give them any additional press. They don't need your shout out on your fantastic podcast. But I also use all the Adobe products, but they,
And I
you know.
pay for it monthly. That's how they
Hmm.
get you. They got like a subscription base now, but I'm in. I'm
And
hooked.
don't let your Wi-Fi be down because they won't let you use it. Anyway.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I was going to mention is, and you guys have heard me on the podcast, I think say it before, and I even have it on my resource pages, which you can find on my about page, is creativemarket.com because they
Mm.
have Canva templates. They even have Adobe templates. They got social media templates. Like some of the things that I've done, I've bought off of Creative Market because no one has time to be designing everything. Creative Market has all the things you could ever want for all the things. It's the best. And so I'll have a link to it in the show notes, but you can also just go to nachesnow.com/creative market because I'm a super fan of it. And I even have collections set up there where I have a font collection, a social media collection. Yeah.
Nache is the queen of collections. So you guys really need to go to her webpage and look up these collections because they're very beautifully curated. A collection for everything, movies, places to eat. She has a
Well,
collection.
that's well, that's not on Creative Market though. That's on some other
No,
things.
no, it's
But
just go to your website because you
oh
you have
yeah, I'll have
collections
like
of
links to all
everything.
that. I know it's terrible. I just, you know why? It's because I'm getting old and I need to put things into collections so I remember them. Even Instagram, I make sure to have like my little saved folders and stuff.
I bet those are bundled into collections of things too.
They are.
She has her emails bundled into collections. Listen,
I sound like
when
I
she
have
said,
a
huh?
condition. I just sound everything must be put into their own collection.
Now we know what your thing is.
Yes, yes. But yes,
Collections.
but Canva, yes, Canva is a good one. Sorry, I got us off track. I mean, it's Lakaye's fault. The next one I have is Flowdesk. And I'm a super fan of Flowdesk. And I actually just gave Lakaye my affiliate link. Didn't I give that to you? Yeah.
Yes.
Because and I think I gave it to someone else. I give it to everyone because you could get like 50% off at least the time of this recording in 2021. Okay. And if you go to nachesnow.com/flowdesk, you can get that discount, at least at this time. But that's where I create my newsletters and they have the most beautiful templates. I'm a fan. It's still in beta, so it's not going to be as plugged in to all the things or have all the integrations as like a MailChimp or a ConvertKit. But I like Flowdesk because I love beautiful emails.
Mhm.
I'm not one of those text only. If you're text only, go ahead and go to ConvertKit. They're perfect for that. That's their whole motto, using text to connect to your reader. No, if you're on my newsletter list, you're getting images. It's going to look like beautiful, Squarespacey, Pinteresty. It's going to have a vibe to it. And that's because Flowdesk was created by women who have a really good design aesthetic. So that's all I'll say about that. I love it. I pay for it. It's my newsletter program of choice. And I can do really good funnels and I just love it. I'll shut up.
I want to make a plug for, I need you to do a funnels episode so I can understand how to use these funnels. Because I have Flowdesk and I use the bare minimum. It's as beautiful as the Nache described. The Nache's motto is pretty first. So anything that she is offering to you all as a suggestion is going to be pretty and it's also going to work. But I use the Flowdesk, but I want to talk one day about flowing. So, yeah.
We'll make that a future app.
What I wanted to mention about Flowdesk is some people are still averse to collecting emails and having your own list of people, but it's so super important. I'm running a promotion right now, and list, my email list is not where I want it to be. So I'm going to
Mm.
start using Flowdesk to collect emails and be able to send promotions out and keep my clients engaged throughout the year, even if I'm not taking their pictures anytime soon.
I think that is so key. If you're not collecting emails right now, shame on you. Shame on you. Because you can even use MailChimp for free and start collecting emails and just have a welcome email that goes out for now. Because almost all social media accounts at one point have gone down.
Hmm.
And I've known a few people now whose accounts have been deleted or
Hacked.
hacked or whatever. And so if you lose all of your followers, you're toast. So you need to have another connection, and that connection is email, even if you're just sending out one email a month. Because even for me, like when you first sign up for my emails, I have a funnel you're going to be put in depending on what you've signed up for. And usually it'll be like 12 or 15 emails. I do need to get better about my general email list. Once you get out of the funnel, if you're not put into another funnel, I need to create content. Like, for example, right now for the remainder of the year. So, right now, my newsletter list might hear from me like once a month. I should have, before I got into the podcast season, created those emails ahead of time because once the podcast starts, it's just harder for me to do it. But when it happens, man, like when once you get a flow, you get those click throughs and you get people going to your content. There's magic there, and you're gaining a connection with your customers or your audience or whoever. So yeah, as Lakaye said, like don't slack on collecting emails. So what's your third one?
Okay, so I have two that are photography specific. So I'm going to talk about one now. So I spend the most money on, well, these two apps cost the same amount, but I use an app called, I see app. It's not an app. It's a website called Pixie. And Pixie is how I deliver images to my clients. So I do in-person sales. Anybody who is a photographer and who is still just dropping your pictures in Dropbox and hoping somebody's going to choose something and then pay you after you've already given them the images, don't do that. If you use a program like Pixie, that's how I deliver. So I do in-person sales, but when I deliver my images, I deliver them through Pixie because Pixie makes this like cute little personal website. People can scroll through, see the images really clearly on their phone. They can download them to their computers, and it's really easy to socially share. And it just looks really good as a presentation. So I don't deliver my client images through Dropbox, which you could, but it takes away that additional level of service and it just looks prettier. And I can
Mm.
also save all of my images from past clients. So if somebody, and this happens to me all the time, somebody will say, "Oh, well, you took pictures 5 years ago," and I might not have them on my hard drive, but I still have them online, so I could just reignite their gallery and they can download them again. So I find that to be super essential, and I just love it. Works for me, and I just love the way it works.
Mm.
It's very photography specific though, but it makes your pictures look good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, Lakaye. I have no use for that, but if I was a photographer, I would use it. I love a seamless customer experience, and
Mm,
that's what it sounds like this provides.
yeah, I'm gonna say that next time. Seamless customer experience. We'll work that into my
Yeah, like
vocabulary.
that?
Yeah, I
Like
do.
that? The other thing that I pay for, which is like 100-ish a year, is this application. And I call anything online, even if it's a website, an application because it is a software application. I mean, we can nerd out about that, but whatever. It's called Grammarly.
Mm.
And what that does is make you sound smarter because it catches all kind of things. Spelling errors, grammatical errors, or did I even say that right?
What if you had a Grammarly for speaking? Like if we were in this podcast, little guy would pop up and say,
And
"I
be
don't
like,
know."
Nache, I need you to, can you say that again? Because I'm not a grammar nerd. Yes, I went to school, all of that stuff, but it's just not intuitive, natural to me. Yes, I know the proper way to say, spell, and think things, but when you are operating fast, my brain just doesn't be like, oh, no, 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 I need to structure this sentence like this. And so Grammarly helps me out without me having to pay for a human. Maybe one day I'll pay for a human, but until then, I run all of my text. Like if I create a blog post or a podcast post, Grammarly is looking at it, right? It's not going to catch every single thing, but it's going to catch most things and hopefully make it where it makes sense because it's important to me to have content out there that doesn't look like someone in high school put it together. You know what I'm saying? Like I want professional content which looks like someone, and not to say, let me just backtrack that people in high school can't write. I'm sure there's people in high school that can write better than me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to look like that a professional editor has at least looked at my content and given me some feedback. And Grammarly is like the AI version that does that for me. But what I also love about Grammarly is you can plug it into or have the app work on your phone and your tablet. So
Oh, I didn't know about the phone.
oh, yeah. So let's say if I'm texting you or if I'm posting something on social media, I can click the little Grammarly symbol. Like I could change the keyboard to a Grammarly keyboard and it will clean up my text. And I
Oh,
love
that would have
it.
saved me so many embarrassing exchanges through text had you told me about this before.
So anytime I'm just like when I'm posting something and I read it, and even when I'm like, oh, it sounds good, but I'm like, I just typed this on a fly. Let me just hit the little Grammarly, and it always finds something. And I'm like, oh, I did the there, not that there,
Mm.
or ooh, I should have a comma here, or ooh, it'll even like restructure sentences like, let us know if this is clear. And I'm like, yes, it is. Accept the change. So I'm not saying every time you see my content, like it's gonna be perfect,
Oh, I'm looking now.
but it's better than it would be without it.
And I used Grammarly when I was writing my thesis.
Mm.
So it was a lifesaver. I paid for the extended version. And when I had to get my review of my paper, I didn't get like a whole lot of red marks because I run it through Grammarly before I went to my advisors. So if anybody is in school or in grad school or have to do any kind of professional writing, run it through Grammarly. It's amazing. It's
It's so
amazing.
amazing. And then it has browser plugins too. So even
Mhm.
when I'm writing emails, I have it plugged into my Chrome. And so I just Grammarly will show up on the bottom right of like the little paragraph space. And then it'll do, of course, little red marks under certain words, but I can also hit that Grammarly button in order to get like a full review of the text. I mean, it's a game changer. It's a
And I
game
do wish I had
changer.
known about it on my phone because I find myself hilarious. And sometimes I make these posts online and I'll go back and I'm like, man, I had a typo in there. So it messes up all my jokes. So I'm gonna definitely get that from my phone.
Yeah, and it's so funny because sometimes if I post real fast and I just don't think to run it through Grammarly, or I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do it real quick, and then I read back over the post, I'm like, dang it, and then I
Hmm.
gotta go back and then fix it, and when I'm just like, why not just hit that little Grammarly button? Why? Come on now, you know better. You know better. So I mean, and I'll say this too, with or without Grammarly, always just try to take a second just to look at what you've written to, right? I mean, I'm not saying my text messages, I'm running everything through Grammarly. If I'm talking to Lakaye is getting all kind of random stuff because it's quick and dirty. I'm running these streets, right? But there is sometimes I might if I'm sending you a large block of text and I want to make sure it's clear because maybe I'm like asking or explaining something, I will hit the Grammarly button. I love it. I'm paying for it, so I might as well use it.
Mm. Most of the things we're talking about have free versions that you can try out, or at least a 30-day trial, so you can see if you
Hmm.
like it before you invest a lot of time into it.
For sure. For sure. So yeah, so what's your next photography specific application? All the photographers will love it.
Okay, so there are lots of photography specific client management systems because it's very important. I use ShootQ,
Mm.
and I love ShootQ because I can put the contact form on my website. It goes directly into the program, and I can just follow that client from lead all the way through invoicing, and it keeps it all there. At the end of the year, I can run reports about how much money I made. It will automatically, if I set it up this way, if somebody owes me money, they'll automatically email, which was good for me at some points because I would be shy about asking people. I didn't want to feel like I was harassing them, but ShootQ will do it for me. So so every 30 days, it'll send an email asking where my money is if they haven't paid an invoice. So that's if you wanted to. So it is pretty much essential. There are some things about it I'm not crazy about, which is
Hmm.
why I have to use these other apps too. But I love it. And there's other ones like Honeybook, and there's another one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's really popular now, but they're not photography specific. And I feel like with
Mm.
ShootQ, they already have lots of templates built in, like flows for weddings, flows for portraits. They have all that stuff built in already. It's pretty
Mhm.
expensive.
Mhm.
So ShootQ and Pixieset are my most expensive applications that I pay for. So speaking of expensive things, I pay for a service called Animoto, and that's how I get all
Oh
of
yeah,
my
you do love your
videos made.
Animoto.
I love
Yeah.
my Animoto. Man, Animoto is expensive as I don't know what. But it lets me put together these videos and ads without having to spend a lot of time. So I just throw my pictures into a pot, and it makes these pretty little jazzy little slideshows or adds video to it. So that's my bonus.
Mm,
That's when I
mm.
need to pay. I need to make myself pay for that one up front because the monthly fee is ridiculous. So I need to put that on my
Yeah, I
list
hate
at
seeing
the end of the
stuff
year.
monthly. If I know I love it, I try to do the annual. You save money and you just don't see it.
Mm-mm.
I like it.
But then I can't quit it. I need it. And I'm like, I have to make myself use it because I'm paying so much for it, and because I am making myself use it, my videos look that much better.
For sure. Like if you're paying for it, I wouldn't do the annual unless you know you're getting your bang for your buck monthly. The only thing I'm paying stuff annual, on an annual basis, is if I know I use it all the time. So like CoSchedule, I use it all the time. Flowdesk all the time. Grammarly all the time. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Anything where I'm like, then I still keep it monthly until I know it's something worth investing in. Even if it's a cool application, if I'm not using it, I shouldn't pay for it annually. It's like doing a gym membership and never going, which I've done before too.
Right. That's not a good example at all.
Where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go. Let me just go ahead and pay for this. I'm going. Yeah, I ain't going. Why am I paying for this crap? It's a good novel idea. So the question is for the Animoto, are you using it multiple times, like a week?
No, I'm not. However, when I need
Mm-hmm.
it, I need it. And if you can tell me of an application that does it as quickly as I need it to do and it replaces that, then I'm all ears. Because I haven't found anything that, because I do more slideshows. I don't do a lot of video. So I know there's a lot of video editing and I've looked for them.
Mm-hmm.
So please let the listeners
Yeah.
know that I'm searching, but
Yeah,
I
put it in
like
the
it for what it
comments.
does.
Yeah. But you can only pay for it when you need it too.
What, Animoto?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, let's say if you're not going to need to create videos for another month or two,
Hmm.
then why even pay for this month? Why
Oh,
not
okay.
cancel the monthly and just pay for it when you need it?
So, Nache, you might not know this about me, but I am the sucker that subscription businesses are made for. It's me. I am the sucker. I have a hard time canceling things when I sign up for
Oh my
it.
God. That's how they get you. It's a trap. It's a trap, my friend.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's me. They caught me. All of them. So,
It's a trap.
so I use it. Yeah. But no, but I've been using Animoto for years. I'm not, this is not ragging on them. They just happen to be the most expensive app that I have. But if anybody knows of something that could do something similar for cheaper, let me know. Hook a sister up because I would switch over after I cancel my Animoto subscription. How they get me though
Mm-hmm.
is once you cancel your subscription, like I have to take the time to download all of the videos that I've made off of the site. So as long as I'm paying, I can continue to have all the stuff. But the minute I stop paying, I can't download any of my old stuff.
You've already downloaded it in order to post it.
Um,
Or do you have it post directly from
yeah,
Animoto?
so I used to just post directly from there.
That's how they get you. Nah, bruh. Every application that I use to create something, I make sure I have a download version. I just immediately delete whatever I used on that app so they can never get me. I never need them for nothing. It's in my photos.
Got trust issues. Can't get me.
Right.
But meanwhile, my I have like I always get the phone with the least amount of storage available because I'm trying to save a couple $2, $3. So
See, now that I don't play with. I, I am getting the max. Like the phone will never yell at me and say you out of memory because I will die.
happens to me all the time.
Oh my goodness. Now that you should just, oh my
I
goodness.
know I should cancel all of these subscription payments and get a phone with the higher storage capability.
Right.
I mean, these are things that come out after we talk about it.
Yes,
I'll
yes.
see.
Okay.
It's an option.
Okay, but shoot Q and Animoto as a bonus. So for my fourth one, I love me some Notion, and it's free, and I love it. And if you have not heard me talk about it already, nashesno.com/Notion. I have a full YouTube video on all the ways I use Notion. Basically, it's something where you can keep notes, databases, Kanban boards. Think of it as like wikis. It has reminders, all this stuff. Some people use it as a project management system. Some people use it as a data management system. It's also known as a knowledge management system. It does have a little bit of a learning curve, but that's the same with ClickUp, Asana, Trello, which also have that same flavor. But this one I feel like is more customizable. I can make it look like I want. So even earlier when Lakaye was talking about how I have movies and stuff,
Everything is collected.
everything. My favorite websites are in here. My favorite movies are in here. My plants, I have like a schedule. It tells me when to water my plants. I have like a whole business section with content, my podcast, brain dump section, all the things in here. I'm actually thinking about doing a Skillshare course where I just do the bare bone basics of even just setting up like your first page, just so you have a really good understanding. But once you know it, it is magnificent. So many people have templates out here. If you go to the nachesnow.com/Notion, I even mentioned some of the templates that I used in order to create mine. But I love it. I use the free version, but I am teetering. And so I've even debated about doing the paid version, which is like $4 a month. It gives you unlimited file uploads, unlimited guests, and version history. So I don't really need that yet. But even I have a Notion that is set up for Lakaye and I, and I could see just using if I get involved in other activities, like creating more Notion pages that I use for guests. Because right now I can only share up with 5 guests, which I'm nowhere near that now. I'm just sharing it with Lakaye, one page. But eventually, if I did get into more things that involve more people, I would do the paid version. But right now, the free version is perfect, and I love
It's so
it.
funny that you say that the version you have is free because your Notion page is amazing. I was intimidated, thoroughly intimidated by Notion because Shay was like, "Here, go to this site and build a Notion page." It's like, what? This is crazy. Oh, here's my template. What? I don't understand. But then she spent some time teaching me about how to set it up, and I have to admit, it's an outstanding and very useful program. However, I cannot wait until you put together a course for Notion because sister needs help. It's very involved. You can do almost anything with Notion. It's like having a sketch pad and telling me to create a masterpiece. That's what Notion is like.
Yeah,
Here are some colored pencils and a sketch
make
pad.
something.
Right, right. And it needs to
Well,
go
no,
hand
it's like,
out with
here's
this
some
movie.
color pencils, markers,
Right, right, right.
paints. Like, I'm gonna give you everything you ever. Here's multiple paper types. I'm gonna give you everything you possibly need now. Decide what to make, and so it could be overwhelming because you're like, oh my god, where do I even
Hmm.
start? Yeah,
Right. Jay is,
love
oh,
it.
it's so simple because all you gotta do, I'm like, all you gotta do, how'd you get there? If you haven't used Notion, then it's incredible. You should definitely check it out, but please wait and check out Nashe's class when she has one because she really knows her stuff. It's all pretty with things just dancing around and fairies and plants and birds, all kinds of pretty things on her page. But it's also very
Oh
useful
god.
for her collections.
I mean, I kind of love it. Now, know that if I used to use ClickUp, which I also love ClickUp too, but know a ClickUp, Asana, the rest of them, they have more integrations. Like for some businesses and teams that are more involved, they might need it. But a lot of YouTubers that have teams love it and they share videos and plan out their content on it. So it really just depends on if you need it to hook into different things. I can't think of specific examples right now, but ClickUp and Asana, I know hook into Zapier and like some other things that I don't really use. So the integrations for me weren't as important. Like I just want them to integrate better with Google Calendar and then I would be happy. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
check it out, nachesnow.com, Notion. slash Notion. I'm a fan. I use it literally every day. Lakaye was making fun of me, I think, the other day because it even has widgets for your iPhone. So I have widgets on there so I can immediately add new websites, immediately add content ideas, immediately get to Lakaye and I's content, immediately add movies that I want to watch. And of course, they have apps that can do some of these other things, but I just love that it's all in one place. But I will get off the Notion train and say, Lakaye, what is your fifth and final thing?
Okay. So this one is showing my woo woo side. So I have begun meditating. And so I found that when I do two things before I start my work, it makes me feel better. So one is doing meditation, and the other one is doing something creative. Then I can sit down and focus when I'm at my desk. When I skip either one of those things, I will just sit and stare at my computer. My brain is just going too fast. So those things help my brain slow down. So when I sit down, I can get my actual work done. So to do my meditation, I use guided meditation. So I use Insight Timer, which is a collection of lots of different people who will do meditations. There's stories for kids if they're trying to go to sleep. There's guided
Mm.
meditations. And the one that I've been into right now is you can time it. So let's say you want to do 30 minutes of just quiet time. They have different sounds you can play, like rainwater or ocean water, and it'll time it so you're not you don't over meditate. You're scared like if I close my eyes, I might meditate too long.
Go to sleep. Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
actually there's three things I have to do in the morning to get my day started. So I do my meditation, I have to do some kind of workout, whether it's walking or going to the gym that I'm actually paying for. And I made myself use because I was paying for it. And I have to do something creative before I can sit down to my computer. So that's uh that's my woo woo app. And
No,
that's
I love
free. They
that.
have a paid version that if you want to take some meditation courses or some kind of mindfulness training, you could pay to belong to those 6 or 10 week courses. But I do the free version and it's plenty robust for me.
Yeah, I was just like looking at it. That's weird. I even had like a 30-day, I think, for Headspace, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. Pat Flynn uses it, and some other people, and I'm gonna meditate. Yeah, I didn't use it one time during that 30 days. I think I know meditation is good and I want to get into it, but I think my meditation is on weekends when I'm walking. Sometimes
Hmm.
I'll listen to podcasts and audiobooks, but usually I like one of those days to be where I'm not listening to anything and I can just be with my, thoughts.
Hmm.
But I know during the week it would be benefit to kind of meditate. I just haven't gotten to the practice yet. And for some reason, even having the free version of one of the most popular apps, I just never made the time to do it. It's very bizarre.
It took me a while to get into it. I am what you would consider to be a woo woo person, but the thought of sitting still or making time to sit still actually sounds horrifying. I wouldn't recommend saying it to anybody because even saying it sounds boring. But for the way that my brain works, how much structure I need and how I need things to go. Imagine what it feels like inside with my little Tetris blocks in my head trying to figure out every moment of my day. I need a time when I'm not thinking about that kind of stuff. And it goes
Mm.
hand in hand. Like I do the meditation and then I have to work out the energy in my body. I'm not saying that I'm some kind of fitness queen, but just going and just moving my body and getting the energy out allows me to work. So I've worked from home for a long time, even before the pandemic and having everybody having to be at home. When I work from home doing my editing or contacting clients, it would be very hard for me to get into my day because I would feel guilty about not doing something creative. I would feel guilty about not working out. I would just have so much pent up energy or whatever just going on. So this meditation practice is fairly new. I've only been doing it for maybe 3 months, and I've been working out since January in the mornings. And it's made such a difference in me being able to sit down at my desk. I have that luxury. So the difference here, we were talking about how our time is a little bit different. So I have a daughter, and so my evenings, I don't have any spare time to do anything. So I have to get my workout and everything done in the morning before she goes to school or when she comes home. Or for the summer, she's just active all day. So I have to give her my time in the afternoons. So I have the luxury of starting my work day at 11 o'clock because I get all the stuff I need to get done first, and then I can sit down and just build a block of time for work. Whereas you have to get up super early, but then you'll have your evenings and afternoons when you can take time to create and be more reflective or take your walks and stuff. So it's just kind of flipped.
Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna mention, and I debated. I had like three, and I was like, "Oh, what's gonna be my number five? What's gonna be my number five?" I love my software, but I decided to make it Calendar Five. It's interesting. Riaddle has a calendars, planner, and reminders, and a Calendar Five. At one point, the app that I got years ago was named Calendar 5, but looking at everything now, it looks like they've changed it because they probably made some upgrades. So the version I have is now called Calendars planners and reminders, and then the robust version of that is called Calendars 5 by Riaddle, which is a hefty $30. But no, I don't think the other one costs as much, but it is a really good calendar app. And I'll just say my bonus app is unrelated to calendars, but if you're a podcaster, since Lakaye got all fancy and did photography related stuff, if you want quick and dirty editing that is amazing, use Descript. I have a link to that. But Descript allows you to easily edit audio content. It also allows you to edit video content too, but I use it for audio. I do pay for it, and it is a game changer.
I didn't think there was going to be a big difference between my Google Calendar and this calendar app that you forced me to download about 2 years ago. I never used. But now that I've opened it, I see what you like about it so much. The list view and the tasks are
Mm.
so clean. Look at this. Look at this
It's
thing.
beautiful.
And I like looking at
It's
things in list view, and this is just I love it. I might have to switch again.
but if you switch, and I'll see if I can find something. What I would do is just operate off of this calendars app,
Yeah.
and then but sync it to your Google Calendar. So you'll never really use the Google Calendar, but because Google Calendar is connected to Calendly, it just
hmm
allows your Calendly to be updated with the latest content so you don't accidentally overbook yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so everything is up here. So when I opened it, I guess I connected it and all of my stuff is here, but are you saying I have to go back and retroactively connect it so when I type something into this calendar, it'll show up on my Google calendars?
Right. Because you want it where Calendly knows you're already booked for something, right?
hmm Yes.
So that means if you're using this one, I don't know how you've connected it, but let's say if you put in an appointment in this calendar today for tomorrow from 5 to 6, I don't know if Calendly will know that because it's connected to your Google Calendar, not Calendly 5. You know what I'm saying? Because you're using this app, not Google.
This thing is really smart though because it has all of my emails in here. I don't know how it did it. But
No,
it has
it is
all of
a
my
to me
calendars.
it's worth every penny. Like I probably if there was new functionality in the other one, I would pay to upgrade because I live and die by this. I love it. It keeps me sane.
Look at this. Invites without a response. Look at this. This is great. Let me go ahead
Yeah, it has
and
everything.
I love it. Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, so hopefully people I hope you guys found that to be useful. I will have all the links to the show notes for this episode at nachesnow.com/136. Of course, if you are in the Virginia Beach area, the DMV area, what other areas do you service, Lakaye?
I've had people come from Delaware, from where's the furthest? Mostly, I have a lot of clients who've come from Maryland, D.C., Virginia, Richmond. Nobody from North Carolina yet, but they can come on up.
Yeah.
It's not a bad drive.
Check out Lakaye, lakayeumba.com. Of course, all the links will be in the show notes for her stuff. So support, support, support. And also check me out and what I have to offer. If this seems overwhelming, just do one application at a time. You kind of build up, but definitely what you don't use, don't pay for, and don't spend your time on it. Just Lakaye and I have tried these over years, right? And so these are the things that we've just found that work, and we didn't start using all of them at the same time. So just figure out what you need right now just to start getting organized, or start giving yourself a little bit more time and space, and just help you get organized, and just take those baby steps. I love this stuff. I love helping people get organized. I mentioned on another episode, like doing some consulting stuff, but I would be kind of an expensive consultant. But if you're interested, hit me up. hello@nachesnow.com, and I will look at your whole life. And if you've already listened to the Enneagram and astrology episode, I'm hardcore. Okay.
She's going to get your whole life together.
It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you your patience and your money, but your life will be on point. If
You're
you're
like a
ready for
personal
that,
trainer for your
hit
life.
me up. Hit me up. Anyway, if you love this episode, please rate me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If you're on YouTube, please give me a thumbs up. Sharing is caring, my friends. If you think this episode will help other people, please share away. And just thank you guys for all your support and the love, and just dealing with Kay and I, because I know we're crazy. Really, Kay, but whatever.
What?
And yeah, we'll be back. All right, take care, folks. Bye.